Hello everyone. It's 8:31 a.m. I just did a private little 3-minute video, but I'm not gonna upload it because I'm afraid of the idea of me getting a strike or something on this account. So I just, I better not even, you know, I better not upload it. But I'm not allowed to look out my own window or else the illegal perps will get mad at me. Like they just got mad at me and gave me the hate anger look, like as if I'm forbidden to look when I peeked outside to try to make sure everything's quiet because I have these earbuds in. And so I wanted to try to be positive and happy. And so I did two short stories. Wait, no, one short story. No, two short stories uh yesterday. No, two short stories Saturday, one yesterday, and then two today. And I just made the submission for my fourth ebook to be sold. That I'm not even allowed to look out my own window. But when I was living in Los Angeles, the neighbors and their friends treated me the same way. When they came together to perk me. But I don't know if it's better if I just do all three short stories in one video or if I should just, separate the videos. But I think I'll just do the three stories in one video. Yeah, I got my nerve after I just said what I said, huh? But this short story, it was yesterday that I wrote called A Friend in Jesus. Maybe I should do three different um no, I probably can. I don't know, I'll think about it. A Friend in Jesus. Murders felt discouraged because she was cheated out of $200 by someone she thought was a Christian church friend named Odessa. Odessa said that she needed to borrow $200 for extra money towards her car note for a used car that she bought 4 months ago. Odessa borrowed the money from Murders, making false promises to pay her back when she got her next paycheck. Wow, they're using direct energy weapons to make me try to yawn. Excuse me. I didn't have to yawn today. The perps must know that I'm reading something. The day came where Odessa kept dodging and ignoring Murders' calls for about 2 weeks. Murders was low on food to feed her two kids, and she had just found out that her husband abruptly packed his belongings and moved out without warning. Murders also just got her master's degree in nursing, so she had a mixture of both good and bad experiences going on at the same time. She was too embarrassed to tell her other church members and the pastor about her situation for fear of being publicly ostracized. Just because of that, for a split second, she thought about wanting to give up on God and felt like God wasn't there for her and that God would judge or condemn her like the church people would. Then she feared even more so about going to hell. She realized that it would be silly for herself to turn away from God and lose faith over a temporary situation and petty $200. After that, she started getting on her knees, praying and crying to God about her situation. Excuse me. And the Holy Spirit showed her Isaiah 55 and 8 through 9. God doesn't think the same way as we do. And also Micah 7 and 5 through 6. Even a church friend will fail you and can't be trusted. Meredith started to think about the hymn, What a Friend We Have in Jesus, and then she started to praise and worship him. Shortly after, God answered her prayer by sending someone to give her 10 huge boxes of food. The 10 boxes of food came from a next door neighbor who so happened to have too much food. Excuse me. The 10 boxes of food came from a next door neighbor who so happened to have way too much food that he got from the food bank. And he was a younger guy living all by himself. Just one person. Meredith didn't have to worry about food for a good 6 months. And that food was able to be stretched. Hallelujah. Amen. She still never heard back from Odessa, but found out through another church member that Odessa's car got stolen and that Odessa lost her job. Odessa quit going to church and relapsed into her crystal meth habit that she worked so hard to detox from. The end. So I'm going to read another one. All right. My voice feels kind of tired right now. Maybe I am tired because I'm too tired to even feel like reading, but I just so passionately want to share this with y'all and try to, me be nice and try to share my stories and stuff like that with y'all. And I'm still a newbie, so it's understandable, especially if you don't really get to have many good things in life. So, of course, you'll be all excited and anxious, for something good. The fact that I have number 4 of the book number 4 to be published. And it might be poorly written, but hey, it's good enough to be published. And I found out today that I got another 5-star on my gang stalking targeted by the PsychWorld book. So see, I'm making some accomplishments. And I had a little more help today. Thanks. Whoever y'all are, thanks. I appreciate it so much. So, today was a moment that I kind of felt like I ran out of ideas of things, of topics or subjects or certain things to talk about. But the 3 stories that I wrote today weren't really even related to gang stalking or targeted individuals. And the second 2 stories are more so positive and uplifting. I guess you could have sent the previous story that I wrote. Y'all probably would have considered that uplifting as well. But it had good and bad in it. But because the idea of being, somebody using and taking advantage of you, and it shows how they are. But I refuse to be taken advantage of and then blamed for it anymore in my life. I refuse anymore in my 37 years of my life to be blamed for being abused and taken advantage of as a child or an adult. So this title right here is called Oops, I Tipped the Customers. So Fernando works as a server at an authentic Mexican restaurant called La Belleza de Jalisco. He loves his job and he loves to go above and beyond to help the diners feel safe, happy, and healthy. His personality is just as beautiful as the restaurant. The restaurant building is enclosed inside of a round fish tank aquarium. Did I say round? Yeah, let's be creative and say round. Like a round building. Basically, the building walls are made up as a decorated glass fish tank with the roof, of course, with fish in it. The building isn't made with rocks, concrete, wood, etc. So many silver dollars, guppies, tetras, betas, and goldfish. The fish hang out with the other animals like the geckos, hermit crabs, fire-bellied toads, and garter snakes. There were many pretty colorful plants and decorations inside the aquarium building, well, the aquarium as well. Mr. Jazz and his wife, Miss Vanetta came in to order food and be seated. The hostess, Clarissa, was very cheerful and jolly and seated them at their table with some menus. Shortly after, the wife and husband had a chit chat about weekend plans. Mr. Jazz had his trumpet hidden inside of his case. Fernando came over with some house-made warm tortilla chips and mango habanero salsa. In Spanish, it would be mango habanero. So mango habanero. I think it's probably habanero, but I could be wrong. I haven't dealt with my Spanish much in a long time, and neither do I care about Spanish anymore. But anyway, Fernando came over with some house-made warm tortilla chips and mango habanero salsa made from scratch. Then he took the couple's orders. "What can I get you to drink?" he asked them. Then Mr. Jazz said, we we'd like to try the horchata. What's that?" Fernando responded, "Well, it's a Mexican drink made with rice and cinnamon. Would you like to try a sample?" "Sure," the couple responded. Look at me. I'm gonna hopefully get better at writing. Give me a break. Okay, I'm trying. And that's why I set the price low at the lowest I can get, $2.99, to be nice to y'all. Because I know that I'm not money hungry. And if I would have put it at $9.99, and I wouldn't have wanted to, and me being just generous and wanting to be nice and giving at the same time as well. But then dealing with, if people were honest to say I have poor quality work, I've been suffering sleep deprivation. And I haven't been in school in a long time, and I'm still new at this. So give me a break. At least I'm not charging a whole lot of money. So anyway, all right. So Mrs. Vanetta didn't like the horchata, so instead she opted for tamarind drink. Those Mexican aguas frescas. Those she opted for tamarindo. Well, Mr. Jazz couldn't get enough. He couldn't get enough of that horchata drink. "Okay, let me go get those drinks for you," Fernando said. Miss Vanetta said, "Hold up now. Instead of you having to run back and forth, let us make it easier on you to just get our orders out the way now. We'd like to have this turkey enchilada dinner special with the beans and rice salad and dessert for $20.99 each for both of us. And I want the sopapilla since it's somewhat similar to our hometown New Orleans beignets. I miss home." Well, in real life, Candy Grandpre misses home too. But long as I'm homeless, I can't go back. But then at the same time, as much as me speaking the truth about everything, that's why I can't, get myself to go back. I mean, maybe if I go back and visit, nothing bad will happen to me. But, I don't want to take any chances of trying to go back to my hometown, New Orleans, as much as I miss it and stuff like that. But anyway, let me finish reading. Yeah, but they said, the wife said, "I miss home. We've been residing here in Houston, Texas since Katrina. We miss home, but don't want to go back." Her husband nudged her and said, "Why that? Why not the fried ice cream?" Talking about why did she choose the sopapilla and why not the fried ice cream. Then they had a small minor debate while Fernando chuckled. Then they both compromised and agreed to have one of each dessert and then shared half of both. So Fernando went to go put the order in, and then he came back and held a conversation about New Orleans and the culture and everything. Then he ran back to go get their food and told them to enjoy it. They were sucking and smacking their food, raving amongst each other about how every bite of all the food tasted so divine and heavenly. They said that it was about the best Mexican food that they've ever had in the entire 67 years of their lives. After they got done eating, they each went to use the restroom, washed their hands, came back, and then did a little dance. Shortly after, Mr. Jazz whipped out his trumpet and started playing a New Orleans jazz version of the Old Rugged Cross. You know the song, The Old Rugged Cross? The Christian hymn, The Old Rugged Cross? While his wife passed out gospel tracks. Many souls in that restaurant got saved that night. Now, in real life, I put in parentheses, now, in real life, customers wouldn't be allowed to do that. And then I put a sad face. So then, but back to the story, but the other customers, employees, managers, etc., was such an awe that they didn't even care about any rules being broken. The employees turned off the restaurant music and people started filming. Oh, wow. Started. See how they must have used the stupidware to make it look like I can't spell, because I know I reviewed and went over this a couple of times, and then still I didn't realize that a misspelled word. But I purchased some books that have misspelled words, so don't be so hard on me. Just one or two, okay? Anybody can spell start or started. Don't make it like I'm dumb. Okay, so the employees turned off the restaurant music and people started filming and recording Mr. Jazz's performance on their smartphones. After that, Fernando was like, "Shoo, here's all the money left over from my $876.79 paycheck that I cashed last week. I'm good. My bills are paid up for the month. The money was $723 left over, and the couple split it. The couple was stunned. They said, "No, you don't have to do that. Keep your money. The Lord put it on our hearts to do this. We're doing His work." It was time for the restaurant to close, and everyone got into their cars and left. The end. But see, the whole time I've been writing these stories and then reading them out loud, or even reading them to myself and reviewing them, I'm sitting here feeling like trying to fight against feeling insecurities about what the perks or the narcissistic abusers would say or think. I mean, you expect perfection out of other people and condemn other people for not being perfect enough, but then it's okay for you to make mistakes. But you think that you're too good to even make mistakes. But, you can point out everybody's mistakes, but nobody can point out your mistakes. So, okay, here's another one. I really do miss the 90s. And you see these shoes right here? Let me show y'all. My shoes. These shoes right here. They're like a remake of the 90s. And they have a lot of shoes that are remakes of the 90s. I miss and love the 90s. So, if I think correctly, I think these are the only pairs of sneakers that I have. And then I got a few little pairs of flip-flops and sandals and stuff. But these were supposed to try to protect my ankles from the cold, since I couldn't afford boots that would protect my ankles from the cold. And I thought I was going to be on the streets for the winter. So, reminiscing on the 90s is this title. On April 15, 2020, Alicia Hamilton and her husband Quentin Trail were excited about their first coronavirus stimulus checks. They lived in a safer at home area rather than a strict stay at home. So they used that money to pay bills and old debt. They hardly had anything left over for anything leisure. I mean, they hardly had any left over for anything leisure. Any money left over, Their 12-year-old son, Don Tavion, was on YouTube bored with his 8-year-old sister, Lil Trey Alicia. Little? You know how black people say Lil instead of little? So Lil Trey Alicia, Trey Alicia Jr. Their parents, Trey Alicia and Quintrell, were both born in 1987. There was a YouTube video suggestion of Whitney Houston's song I Have Nothing on Dontavion's feed. So Dontavion clicked on the song out of curiosity. He liked what he heard and discovered what real music was. He didn't like hearing Billie Eilish. Is that how you pronounce her name? Eilish? Billie Eilish, Lil Uzi Vert. I think, now come on. How plain can you be? With a name like Lil Uzi Vert, you stretch out Lucifer. But yeah, so that little boy, he knew what's up. That little boy knew what was up. But anyway, so he didn't like hearing Billie Eilish, Lil Uzi Vert, Trippie Redd, Tekashi, etc. You know the Tekashi 6ix9ine, that little. I had to catch myself. That little Tekashi person or whatever. So his parents overheard him blaring the song very loud. I'm battling out unwanted intrusive thoughts, y'all. I'm sorry. His parents overheard him blaring the song very loud from his laptop and told him to turn it down some. Then he started to get curious and asked what the 90s era was like. His parents shamefully put their heads down, especially the dad Quintrell. His dad Quintrell said, well, since everyone is quarantining, let's get adventurous. So he called Lil Trey Alicia into Dontavion's bedroom, and Dontavion got mad and said, come on, Daddy, you know I don't like her up in my room. If she messes it up, she's cleaning it, not me. Quintrell said, boy, no, it's not the time for that. Ain't nobody gonna mess up your room. Stop tripping, like for real, for real. So then Quintrell started smiling really hard and asking his wife, Trey Alicia, babe, what about the 90s culture do you miss? She responded, I miss, of course, no lockdowns or masks, and then laughed. Nah, in all seriousness though, I miss those nylon sweatsuits, Yikes pencils, Nike and Reebok sneakers, sleepovers, good R&B, hip-hop, and rap music, sitcoms and cartoons, Jerry Springer, Maury, family togetherness, people playing sports and games outside with each other while getting all sweaty, etc. And then she put her head down and broke down crying because she misses her grandma Isabella Turner. So, well, me personally, I don't miss Jerry Springer or Maury or cartoons. Well, I guess I miss Dennis the Menace, but nah, I can't miss something that's of the world and of the devil. But so I mean, I do miss the nylon sweatsuits, Yikes pencils, Nike and Reebok sneakers, good R&B, hip hop, and rap music. Well, the instrumental, but I can't listen to it. No, I'm not supposed to listen to that no more, being a Christian. But I recently broke away from it and been having temptations to go back into listening to it. But I said, no, I don't want to go and do that. So, I miss family. What family togetherness with being in foster care? But, the idea of families being closer and loving each other more and getting together and stuff like that. And I miss certain sports I do miss. So she misses the memories of her grandma Izzy taking her and her cousins to church on Sundays and then cooking neighborhood Sunday dinner afterwards. Talking about Grandma Izzy, Grandma Izzy had a heart of gold and a beautiful soul. People say that about me, that I have a heart of gold and a beautiful soul. So, she never charged people for her dinners, unlike her other church friends. Trey Alicia said that her grandma Izzy would always call the 80s and 90s the devil's era, but Trey Alicia and numerous other people loved it. They never understood why until now. In fact, now is more of a devil's era than back then. Excuse me. Trey Alicia couldn't help but to admit that she misses getting belt whippings from her grandma Izzy. Her young parents let her be free to do whatever she wanted to because she was spoiled and an only child. Her grandma Izzy would be strict, but at the same time very loving and meant well. She gave Trey Alicia and her cousins a lot of wisdom. Grandma Izzy must have been woke to the truth and anti-New World Order. Grandma Izzy was a hard-working black female widow who was a homemaker and gardener who served the Lord and also served the community without desiring any credit. She was as close to a Proverbs 31 woman that you can get. Unfortunately, she died peacefully in her sleep in July 1994. No one knows why. Trey Alicia was in tears telling her story about how much she missed her grandma Izzy. Quintrell refused to speak on anything about his family, but he comforted and consoled his wife along with the two kids. And the two kids helped console her too. Well, the end. So, I'm feeling accomplished that I worked on these stories, and I'm just waiting on, the final confirmation for my compilation of books together to work on. And so, me being new, I would get excited and impatient and just rush things through, plus being sleep deprived, plus me just wanting to get, everything out the way. But then at the same time, it's like, well, I'm getting building a little more confidence at this, at doing this writing and stuff, and at least it's work for me to do. But so I know that people who delusionally believe they're a thug, they'll say that my writings is lame, whack, and corny. But this is not for people like y'all anyway. If y'all don't want the truth to hear the truth, even if it's an illustrated truth. So I was gonna do another short story, but I stopped where I was at, and because I wanted to take more time to think more things through, and not rush it, and to focus better on it. And I also wanted to work on make my next goal to work on my my nonfiction book of my homeless situation. I don't know if I want to do that or the COVID next, but I'm thinking more like the homeless one and then the COVID, and probably take a break. I don't know. But it's easier for me and better for me to write up in here rather than being on the streets. It's easier for me to get more work out and get more focused. I also want to be working on a big fiction book, hopefully to help other people out. And I don't know if I don't think I have to redo the whole thing again or redo everything again. But, I'm hoping that the resources and information and the illustrations can help people, realize a fictionalized cult story and mind control and targeted individual story. And then they can help. I mean, if they're not targeted, or they might be targeted and don't realize, or they might be in a cult and don't realize, and then later on wake up and, that might put a light bulb in their head for them to wake up to the truth and stuff like that. So those are 3 big projects to work on, plus the little project, that one other short story. I might do a third. I will. Not that I might. I will do a volume 3 of short stories as well, and save that other one, the one that I haven't worked on yet, put that in the category of the short stories volume 3. But and I'm gonna probably work on that one, and also work on my homeless book in the meantime. And so tonight I'm gonna go and take me a Epsom salt soak with the clay, and I haven't taken one of those in over a week. For a while I haven't taken one, so me trying to take a Epsom salt bath and stuff like that. So if y'all like these stories, if you want to, you can donate. If not, then that's fine. Thanks for even just listening to my stories. And I'm still trying to get help to stay here longer and stay off the streets until or unless I can get a final solution on my situation. I am not gonna give in and sell out. I'm trying to do this. It's like this is the only way I can try to get my life done, to try to just survive day to day. Because I know that the refrigerator is very dirty, and I'm gonna clean it out. It's very dirty, but I'm gonna clean it out. But I need to clean out the refrigerator and stuff like that. But all I have in the refrigerator now is 6 eggs. 6 boiled eggs, and 3 oranges, a couple of slices of cheese, and 1 more serving left of the cherry juice. That's all I have left. And so I'm gonna eat half of the let me show y'all. I have half a jar of peanut butter left, that big jar. And I have this right here. This is what usually help me sleep. And this rice right here. And I have about a few little packs of these walnuts right here. And I have about 6 packs of oatmeal left. So I really feel dehumanized and degraded to be forced to live this lifestyle, and then I'm always made to feel like as if I did something wrong by trying to ask for help. And then there were times, that I didn't I didn't feel like I needed help. So somebody wanted to offer me money one time, and I said, no, thank you, I'm fine. And she's like, well, don't refuse help. I'm like, well, okay, well, thank you so much, And so, at the time I felt like I was good, I was fine, and so thank you. But there are some people who would think that if you feel like you're too ashamed of something, then other people would say that you're being prideful or too. But I've had to, I've never really been a prideful person anyway, because I was in what year was that? probably my sophomore year in high school. It was my sophomore year or my senior year in high school. And the ROTC colonel, he even told me about how humble I am. That, that was the first time I ever been told that he told me I'm very humble, a very humble person and everything like that. So, but people who are narcissistic abusers who try to bully, harass, and lecture me about being prideful, they're projecting onto me. Like one time, Miss Lisa Ruby tried to falsely accuse me of pride, and she was trying to use the Bible to try to manipulate me and try to control me and stuff. And she falsely accused me of being prideful and a few other things. And I'm like, but me refusing to be manipulated, me standing up to refusing to be manipulated and controlled by her, and me trying to stand up to her. Then she falsely accused me of being prideful because I didn't want to allow this coerced deliverance, and which she turned out to be a wolf in sheep's clothing and a big fraud. And come to find out, her and her husband, they're still Satanists, and they lied and said that they're not satanic anymore and that they're Christian now and stuff like that. So I'm just glad that God got me out of there and I broke away from him. Because if I don't know if I would have got killed by them. I don't know what would have happened. But I thought it was mainly the men you couldn't trust. But nowadays you can't trust women. And kids are getting dangerous nowadays. Nobody can be trusted nowadays. And people who seem loyal and faithful and, got your back, nobody's loyal or faithful. And I know the Bible prophesies this and foretold and predicted, these times will come and stuff like that. But I'm still emotionally having a hard time dealing with, people being so hard and mean in life, So I don't know if by tonight or tomorrow, if let me look right now, if my book is finally uploaded. Okay, so not yet. Because if it was already, wait, let me see something. Hold up. Okay. Let me see. Let me see something. Yeah. So all my stuff. Whoa. All my books. I know that they're authentic. All of it's original. Everything is come from my thoughts, my mind. I'm not stealing nobody's ideas. Promise y'all. So yeah, the book is not ready yet. Hold up. Okay, so good. Well, they say it's supposed to take 72 hours. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for being supportive and giving me some encouragement. I'm surprised anybody likes any of my content, whether it be any of my videos or any of my stories or anything like that. I'm just surprised and thankful. That anyone appreciates any of my work. It's too good. Yeah, for one person to support Candy Grandpre and buy her book, and more than one book has been purchased and had good review. Excuse me. It's too good to be true. But I'm not expecting to be a New York Times bestseller like I used to wish to be years ago when I was young and dumb and ignorant and didn't know the truth and didn't know any better. So I don't need to be a New York Times bestseller, but I just wish I had, enough support and fortune to help me get off the streets alone by my books without having to ask for donations or help. And if my books can speak for themselves and I can just survive on my own without the need to be any kind of burden or anything to anybody else. So maybe it must be God helping me out, because the idea of having not one supporter, it probably would have been like that years ago, but me being able to reach out to other targeted people, it seemed like they would other targeted people, can be supportive of me and stuff like that. And see, I tried to include God in my last 3 stories and try to, have a positive spin or a good spin, rather. And I'm pretty sure I have some good positive stories in the first short story compilation as well. But I warn you now, just like the our targeting life, they want to try to make sure that it's always some drama or some make you miserable and always some drama or something negative. It's a lot like that and with the Timberwood fiction book, but the positive, there's still even some drama after everybody was set free with the truth, because still, how they have greed, covetousness, jealousy, whatever, and some confusion and infiltrators. So, but the positive thing is they got out of the cult and try to go and help other people. But at the same time, you still go through trials and tribulations and suffering and stuff like that, and be truly targeted and truly persecuted for your faith. And, I don't know why people just want to live a lie. Maybe they were brought up that way and that's all they're comfortable with. And then they get angry and want to destroy your life for the truth. I have a right to record and film gang stalkers. I have a right to write my books and publish them. So, I have a right to serve Jesus Christ if I want to. I have a right to have a roof. No. According to the bully fag cops, the police, they say that to have a place to live, is a privilege and not a right. But then somebody told me that I should have told somebody gave me the suggestion that I should have told a police officer. They said that you should have told the cops that to have that badge is a privilege and not a right. Yeah, their job sure is a privilege and not a right. If a person get angry or upset that they didn't get a job, then people will say the world don't revolve around you or the world don't owe you anything. But they have a lot of people who do want to work but are blocked from working or not allowed to work. So I'm feeling accomplished and I'm feeling a little better. And I'm just thankful I have even a small amount of support or help. And hopefully more people, increase of people will buy my books. And I'm not charging that much, just $2.99. So, thanks, and I'm gonna go right now. And I love y'all. And bye. I've just been a little immature and goofy, y'all. Since I still have a little childlike side to me, but I don't mean to be childish or immature, but me just trying the best way I know how to hopefully, trying to be a little cheerful and joyous and trying to have a laugh and try to be a little happy for once. If the gang stalking perps and narcissistic abusers, they falsely accuse me of always wanting to be negative and miserable all the time, which is not true. And then they ignore me and shut me up when I try to bring positivity or something good to them. And then they'll treat it like it's worthless, like my books. They'll make it like my books are whack. So I'm gonna go now, and after my shower and stuff, and after I eat dinner, I mean, to make my mind feel at ease at night, I usually lately been doing a video later at night, and then just let it upload in the middle of the night, and then wake up and it still be uploading. But I mean, I can't believe that I got my fourth book out of the way. Hopefully, I mean, they say it takes 72 hours, up to 72 hours. And my previous books have only been uploaded within a few hours. So, and I know the perps, even if I'm just talking about a book full of, if I have a prayer book or a book about salvation and stuff like that, or helping lead people to Jesus Christ, they're gonna stop that too. Or if I have a book about travel and vacation and stuff like that, they will try to stop that too. They will try to stop me if I had a cookbook and stuff like that. So they'll try to stop at anything that I have no business putting out books. So I'm gonna go now. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in a few hours, couple hours. All right, bye.